Adult education is different from the form and common full-time education. Adult education is open to all ages and sexes. Through this educational process, adults can increase their ability, enrich their knowledge, and improve their professional qualification. History of adult education. In 1949, the common program formulated by the first session of the Chinese People Political Consultative Conferences clearly confirmed that the China needed to put emphasis on the education of the working classes and address the serious situation of the illiteracy, which was the more than 80% of the population. The period from the 1949 to 1966 marked the beginning and development of the adult education in New China. From the 1966 to 1976, adult education could not be carried out normally due to the impact of the 10-year cultural revolution since 1978. When China entered the new era of modernization, adult education has been rapidly restored and developed types. With the development of the education system in China, the government gradually pay attention to the adult education and have four types of adult education: adult college entrance examination, higher education self-taught examination, open education, and network education. There is only one college entrance exams every year, typically in the middle of the October. Adult college entrance classes are usually held on a weeknight and a weekend. Adult self-taught exam faces all adults and does not need to provide a certificate for a formal schooling to be able to sign up. It only need to have an ID card to register in an institute of examination of education of each province. To register during the regulation of period, candidates can take the exam by studying various subjects on their own or enroll in a course which are recognized by the universities or junior colleges. Compared with the traditional academic education, open education is a new teaching model that combines traditionally face-to-face teaching, textbook, autonomous learning, and online real-time courses and online classes. Network education is taught through networking courses. The study style is convenient suit the adult whose jobs are busy and do not work have a fixed time to have a class. Enrollment time in the relatively loose, divided into spring and the autumn admission. The examination time is quite many and every month has the entrance examination. The primary purpose of the adult education is to provide a second chance for those who are poor in society or who have lost access to education for other reasons. In order to achieve the social justice and equal access to education in 1960s, the idea of the lifelong education was raised and began to transition of Chinese education. Adult education began focusing on the civilization of society, responsibility of develop lifelong education theory. Teachers in 1985, the government designated the September 10 as a Teachers' Day, the first festival day for the profession, and the indicated of government efforts to raise the social status and living standards of the teachers. The government has started the nationwide program of the National Network for Education of Teachers to improve the quality of the teaching. It aims to modernize the teachers' education through the educational information providing supports and services for the lifelong learning through the teachers' education network, TV satellites network, and the internet and TV to greatly improve the teaching qualities of elementary and high school faculty through large-scale, high-quality and high-efficiency training and continuous education. As required by the state law, local government are implementing teacher qualification system and promoting in-service training for large number of the school principals so as to further improve schools management standards. Currently, in schools of higher studying, professors and assistant professor accounts for 9.5% and 30%. respectively. Young and middle-aged teachers and predominate teachers under age 45 accounts for 79% of the total faculty, and under age 35 or 46% teachers in higher education constitute a vital contingent in scientific research, knowledge innovation, and sci-tech. Of all academics in the Chinese Academy of Science, 40.7% are in the higher education sector. For the Chinese Academy of the Engineering, the corresponding figure is 35.3%. Among the most pressing problem facing the education reform was the scarcity of the qualified teacher, which has led to a serious stunting of the educational development. In the 1986, there were about 8 million primary and middle school teachers in China, but many lacked the professional training. Estimates indicate that in order to meet the goals of the 7th five-year plan and realize the compulsory 9-year education, the system needed 1 million new teachers for primary schools. 750,000 new teachers for junior middle schools and 300,000 new teachers for the senior middle school. Estimate predicted, however, that the demand for teacher will drop in the late 1990s because of the anticipated decrease in the primary school enrollment. The copes with the shortage of the qualified teachers, the State Education Commission decreased in 1985 that senior middle school teachers should be graduate with 2 years training in professional institutes, and that primary schools teachers should be graduate of secondary schools to improve teachers quality. The commission established full-time and the part-time in service training program. Primary schools and preschools in service teachers training program devoted 94% of the time to the subject teaching, 6% to the pedagogy of the psychology, and the 10% to the teaching method. In service training for the primary school teacher was designed to raise them to a level of the approximately 2 years post-secondary study with the goal of the qualifying most primary schools teachers by 1990. Secondary school in services teacher training was based on a unified model tailored to meet local conditions and offered on a spare time basis. 95% of its curricula were devoted to subject teaching and 2 to 3% to the pedagogy and psychology and 2 to 3% to the teaching methods. There was no similar large-scale in-service efforts for technical and vocational teachers, most of whom worked for the enterprises and local authorities. By 1985, there were more than 1,000 teachers training schools, an indispensable tool in the effort to solve the acute shortage of the qualified teachers. These schools, however, were unable to supply the number of the teachers needed to attain the modernization goal through the 1990s. Although a considerable number of the students graduate as qualified teacher from the institution of higher learning, the relatively though special status and salary level of the teacher hampered the recruitment, and not all the graduates of the teacher colleges from become the teachers. To attract more teachers, China tried to make the teaching a more desirable and the respected profession. To this end, and the government designated September and as a Teachers' Day, granted teachers pay raise and made teacher colleges tuition free to further arrest the teacher shortage. In 1986, the central government sent teachers to underdeveloped regions to train local school teachers because urban teachers continue to earn more than their rural counterpart, and because academia standard in the countryside had dropped. It remained difficult to recruit teachers for rural areas. Teachers in rural areas also had the production responsibilities for their plot of land, which took time from their teaching. Rural primary teachers needed to supplementary their pay to farm by farming, because most were paid by the relatively poor local communities rather than by the states.